Okay, we can go ahead and get started since we're it.
We're it, huh? You can vote.
Yeah, I authorize you to vote, even though it might not.
It doesn't count anyway, right?
I got to go to Pigeon Forge.
When?
4:30. So let's move on.
Open this meeting. I tell you, Pete, you go more places than any man I've ever known in my life. In the shortest of times.
Blue Ridge this morning and back to Silver this afternoon.
Now you want
We're gonna mow grass and hang out here.
I was on red.
He's
to
like,
work.
spit on it.
How are you doing? I went to Blue Ridge this morning, just came back from Silver, so I went to Silver.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Way back up in town there.
He did that.
He came back. Too late now. Ain't no mission here. I'll call you back in a minute.
Okay. Chair will go ahead and call this meeting to order. And thank everybody for being here. We're not going to have a quorum today. We lost one member, and for the record, and we have two of our members. One's in Miami, Florida this morning. They went down this morning and we'll be back in time for the meeting. It's Gary Smith. And also Tommy had to go for an economic development meeting as he's part of the state, so he's on his way down there now, so he couldn't be here. And Joe had to do something, so I don't know what he had to do, but anyway, he's not going to be here. But we're here. And thank you for coming, everybody. We can't conduct any official business since we don't have a quorum for our meeting, but we'll take care of the minutes next meeting. We'll approve the minutes at our next meeting, and we can do a few things here, I think, without breaking our rules. We could suspend the rules, go ahead and vote on everything, and let it but they might frown on that.
If Harold was here, he'd be.
He was our parliamentarian. He would not approve of that. Well, I had my agenda here somewhere, but I didn't know what I do with it. You got an extra copy?
I did, bring it next time, I'll do that.
I may have left it on my desk.
You have an extra copy?
Because I was getting ready to leave.
Pete, do you have your agenda with you?
Well, I'm down here.
I didn't print mine either, but I did look at it.
I
Oh.
got one.
Oh, just in time, I bet.
Oh, okay, we can copy this one. I made little notes on it.
I got more paper than law allows.
Taking a scan a lot more.
Going here for the public session. Okay, Jimmy, if you want to just kind of talk a little bit to us.
I'll do that.
Bring us up to date on what's going on for the record.
All right.
Teresa will be writing as fast as you talk.
Well, at the last meeting, we had left here saying we were going to have a meeting in Raleigh with Division Aviation and had you on the conference call.
We did.
And we did that. We had Teresa and Miles engaged on the conference call with speaking of the grants and the issues that were outstanding with those on the reimbursements and the grant for the runway lighting moving ahead. My understanding is Teresa's received reimbursement on the apron grant that we were waiting on. I don't know if you got any documents back on the 13 non-primary entitlement, or are we changing that description for the 37?
And Miles had asked me to do a little report on the grants today, and I brought everybody a little, I brought
Yeah,
him
I'm
down.
on.
If you want.
Just go ahead, for the record, just go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Since Media's here, whenever he gets through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And, let's see, where was that? Non-primary entitlement, still waiting to get the description changed back on that, and the grant, DOA overnighted the grant to the Airport Authority. You signed it, sent it back. Nancy sent an email yesterday saying that it's downtown being signed, the workbook should come in a day or two, so all that's up to speed now as far as I know. So that was a good meeting, I think, when we went to Raleigh.
I think very productive, yeah.
Getting everybody on the same sheet of music there. In reference to the project, we've had an instance or a change of a technique on sealing the cracks. We have so much moisture out here at night on the runway to do the technique of crack sealing that was proposed, which was to mill out the crack and then put some liquid asphalt with rubber compound in it. When we tried to do that process, we just couldn't get a good bond. We wound up, they'd spread it out and we'd get a couple 100 feet down and you could just go back and pull it up. So we had to go back, research a different way to approach that. So what we come up with is using, DOT Highways calls it a chip seal, FAA calls it a surface treatment. So I've gotten the contractor specifications for that. He got prices back to us and we drafted a supplemental agreement, which I sent to Miles, and basically we've underrun on several things on the project, and those underrun items were unsuitable excavation. We didn't hit as much as that as we thought we'd have to undercut. GeoGrid would have gone in place had we hit some unsuitable areas to be able to bridge that. Undercut, we didn't have as much undercut again. And then the crack sealing that was identified in the project itself, we're pulling that out and inserting a new process, and that net change to the contract, once all those prices are reconciled, was still a net decrease to the total contract amount of $170.40. So there's no increase. We're basically trading out one operation or one type of a method for another. And when all those numbers canceled out, if you will, it's $170.40. But I had to do a supplemental agreement because the double surface treatment is not an item that was in the original bid. So I couldn't just change overnight. So got that going on. These guys have been getting hit in different pockets of weather, like we just discussed a minute ago. They got like 0.8 of an inch out here last night in about 40 minutes, they said. So that's slowed them down a little bit. They are pretty much got the stone on the north side of the runway all the way down, set up, being tested. The coming back up this side should be tested this week. I know your FBO was discussing about not being interrupted during operations on July 4th, so the shutdown will not happen during that week. So we'll be doing night work next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then the contractor's going to take all the rest of that for that. Their updated schedule they provided to me, we're trying to get the paving started for a shutdown probably the week of July 16th right now, if everything goes according. They had a little issue to begin with, getting some densities on the stone. We were running tests, and their QC folks were running tests, and we were having a little difference. Of course, our tests are the ones for record, so we say they're failing, they're failing. So they had to come back and do a little bit of adjustment. And they're only a couple points out. We're looking for 100% density. Maybe they've been getting a 96 or 99 or 98, just depending. They just didn't quite peg 100. And then they came out and looked at their operation and did some more scarifying and just put a little more effort in it, and then they started achieving those. So,
do they bring somebody else in, run the machine or something?
no, they actually brought one of their seasoned supervisors, you want to call them that, and he came up here and just kind of watched what they were doing and gave them a few pointers, and that seemed to work a little better for them. Yeah.
Technique they were using.
Technique, the approach to it, yes, sir. All that being said, they have sent me a letter last week. I forwarded it on to Miles, but they're not on schedule as far as their calendar day schedule goes, but they do have some impacts weather related and some of this crack sealing area. So what I talked to the contractor about, I said I'd speak with you guys today if you're okay with it. Their 6th of August is a scheduled date. They're saying they're going to be finished now. I think that's optimistic to me from looking at the work they still got to do unless they really start making a little more progress. And the paving should go pretty fast. I mean, that will be a 24-hour operation. They still got the paving to do. They've got to put the edge drain in, and they got to do the lighting. That would be the last 3 major items in the contract to get done between now and the 6th of August.
Who's responsible for the marking?
Well, that's part of their, that's their subcontractor. Now, the marking would be done as a temporary and then come back after 30 days, and we'll put the permanent marking down. Because it'll bleed through and change color on you if you do it before the oils get out of the asphalt.
Jimmy, can I ask you, you said paving, lighting, and what was the third thing?
The edge drains.
Edge drains.
The reason they haven't put the edge drains in already, they did their widening at 12.5 foot, putting their stone down on that. Then they want to pave that first lift on that stone to do that. The double surface treatment, that does have a cure time. They gotta put down liquid asphalt like a tack, and then they'll put some gravel. Then they'll come back, put some more liquid asphalt, and then put some more gravel to build that up to about 3/4 of an inch. But that has to dry or cure before we can allow them to put the hot asphalt on, or it will just re-melt, if you will, or liquefy the asphalt that's in it. So that'll take a couple of days. So I allow them 5 additional days to do that, but I don't think that's gonna be the case, because by doing this method, we're not gonna require them to remove the old marking, which that was a 2-day process. So the net difference here, we may have a day extra if they wind up having to need it. Typically, we remove the old marking on the runway because it causes the pavement mat possibly to have some slippage in it, because it just doesn't have something to bond to. But this is going to be a very rough surface, so when they start putting that asphalt down, it'll have something more to grip to, plus it's bridging the cracks that we're trying to address. They can't do that ahead of the shutdown, because once we start putting that gravel out there, we're not going to open the runway. You know, it's a hazard, if you will, as far as spots and so forth. And I'd like to ask if they had any issues that you've heard once they open up during the day, anything they're trying to clean up as well.
Have you had any issues, Neil? I had a couple of calls from pilots that had not understood the note that you put out, whether it was closed.
I have had a couple, and the only confusion was they didn't understand that the closure was from 8 p.m. until 8 a.m. because NOTAMs use Zulu time, which makes it midnight till 12 noon.
So other than that, I think, unless you had block lights on.
But we haven't had any problems with that.
Good.
They've been pretty conscious about trying to get things working out here, make sure they're trying to get everything up. Other than that, that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, well,
any questions
good.
or
Good.
concern? Everything so far, we're well within the grant amount. I do really at this point perceive you'll probably have an underrun on the total contract.
That won't make us mad.
No. If things stay the way they are today. We just anticipated really some more undercut material out there and had enough contingency in there to cover that.
Good.
Turned out that's not the case at this
Well,
point. So.
I'm glad it's moving right along. So, the weather hadn't been too bad so far.
It's just,
Just
when
enough
it
to
hits,
kind of
I
evaluate.
came up here one night, and I was out here staying with them. We stayed out here till about 2 o'clock, but by 10 o'clock, it had rained hard enough, you really just couldn't do anything. Now, the stone, that moisture does help, because it has to have some moisture in it to get it set up, but their band of tolerance is so tight, it's plus or minus 2% of the optimum. So if you get too much and you test it, then you're out of tolerance, and if you don't get enough, because that's why they draw water here to let it happen. That operation seems to be going pretty well at this point.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate your report. And Teresa, if you just kind of.
It's just like a lot of words on one page, and I apologize for that.
You can just paraphrase if you want to.
I will,
Yeah,
but I
okay.
want you all to have these, and just, so we'll,
Yeah, okay. All right.
because I just want to be on the same page, and I'm just going to go over them briefly.
Yeah, sure.
If that's okay.
That's fine.
The grant number 1.11.3 is the first one on the list. That's the grant that was for the runway extension, which TRC is still billing out of. And so that's just a little blip about where they are and how much is left in that one. That is all earmarked for TRC. As a matter of fact, they've come forward and said they are probably going to need some more money to finish up that lab analysis, but they said that they would probably go through the FAA somehow, so that's all good. So that's just the old grant. We did do the extension. We've got it extended July 1 of 2015, and so we're all good on that one. That second one is the apron rehabilitation project, and we just received the $149,912.52. From that, we have now closed that grant, and then there's another piece of the apron rehabilitation project that we're still going to be able to get out of the next one, which is 1.14.1, and that explains that we're looking for what we need to finish up all of that is $37,230.65 for just the apron rehab, and then you'll note I put in there approximately $12,000 back to Macon County for the rise, and then the 2007 7532 for that one AWAS. And what after that's done, it looks like that you're going to have about $114,000 $667 or thereabouts that is not earmarked for anything. And I know you talked about your beacon lighting and all of that, but still, so we're gonna come out looking a lot better on that one than initially.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that one's still open. This one we just sent, that's what you signed today, Pete. We just sent it back overnight to Nancy Siegler, just left my office today, went overnight, so, we'll do a request for the rest of that as soon as we get our workbook. And, the next one is the wide runway to 100 feet, and of course, that's the one we're working on now. And there have been some delays in getting that grant into place, but the contract has now been signed. That's when you and Pete signed back, I think it was on June the 11th, overnighted it. Nancy's got it. She sent it downtown. The deputy secretary has to sign it, so there's no guarantees about how long it has to stay on their desk. And so we haven't gotten it back yet. We haven't got the workbook back. But I mean, like Jimmy said, I'm expecting that any day. And once we do that, we've got several invoices for WK Dixon, the first pay estimate for Reeves, and it's going to be done simultaneously. We're going to turn the invoices into finance, and simultaneously we're going to request the money back. So it's almost like we're going to have a washout on that. But that'll be as soon as we get the electronic workbook, and that again is any day. And of course, all of those have had the match voted, and everything's pretty clear on those. The last one, the 1.14.2, that's the rehabilitate the runway 725 and parallel taxiway, and the the DOA has awarded $2,250,000 in order to do that project, but it requires a $250,000 local match, and of course that has not even been asked for or approved by the commissioners as of yet. And so the first step would be to ask the commissioners for the match, and when we get the match, then we do all of our software.
We were waiting back to set your budget for it.
Exactly. Right. So that's where we are, and I just gave y'all a little cheat sheet to have if you, just to refer back to, or if you see anything in it that's not clear, or that you think we need to do a different way, just let me know. But actually, we're looking good.
It looks good. It looks good. And Teresa, thank you for a good job.
Oh, gosh.
You and Lori, what you do on keeping this money all in the right place and keeping them straightened out, these grants. You talk about a jungle, that's a jungle, I tell you.
You can't be, but we've got it.
I'm glad we've got you to help us out on this stuff and take care of that.
I'm glad I can help.
You do a great job, thanks.
Anybody have any questions about anything in there?
I'm getting questions from airport tenants about the projected closure of the runway for paving.
Right now, it's looking like the week of July 16th.
Mid-July.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's what they have projected on their schedule. We still, this week and next week, we'll know better. When they get through next Wednesday night, if all of their stone has been tested and passed, then we'll know. Now, they will do some paving at night just on that 12.5-foot widening, but when the actual closure to cap the whole runway, then that's looking at the 16th at this point.
Yeah,
No earlier than that. I would
Some
say.
airport tenants are planning to relocate their
Right.
airplanes for that period of time. So they need to know in advance so they can plan for it.
Okay. And I'll keep you abreast of that. If I don't get back, I'll have Robbie, our inspector, get with you when he's out here. So,
What's the duration of the closing?
7 days. That's what's planned. Now, whether it takes the whole 7 days or not, it's a 24-hour closure. They tell me they got enough trucks and stuff to truck the asphalt without any delays in there, but should be a little bit of cushion in there.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the hangar amendment. If you recall, Pete, I'm sure you do, and Teresa, you recall that we had to do just a minor amendment to the lease agreement we got with Mr. Drake, and it was unanimous consensus that we go ahead and approve it. It was like 3-4 months difference in the expiration of the lease agreement we have with him. So the chair, for the minutes, the chair will go ahead and sign that amendment, and we need to get word to Mr. Drake that he can go ahead and finish up we'll go get signed.
Does Justin have that on?
He still has it, yeah, he still has it. I'll get that from him tomorrow. Okay. Under other business, as most everybody, I don't know where you are aware that we lost one of our members, Jimmy, we did. We lost Howard Corbin, was a longtime member of the Airport Authority, and they had his funeral Saturday. And we certainly going to miss him, there's no question about that. We're going to miss Harold. He's a very passionate supporter of the airport, and was always willing to do whatever he could to help us make progress down here to improve the airport, and he was right in there 100% helping us. So we're going to miss him, and we're going to have to replace him. And so we, by consensus, I have told all the board members and also our liaison, Jim Tate, Commissioner Jim Tate, and we're going to present the nomination to the county commissioner. They have to prove who the Airport Authority recommends to replace him, and we're going to send the name up of Richard Rhodes, since he's a pilot and he's a good businessman, and he's also got a he's very passionate about the airport and its growth, and has been very supportive of the airport for a number of years. So we're going to send his name up for approval. If the county commissioners decide to accept that name, then he'll be sworn in to be on the board with us. And if they choose to maybe have us send another name up, we'll send another name up till we get somebody that they the majority can approve. And I don't think he'll have any problem with Richard. He's a very fine man and a good businessman. So anyway, Teresa, if you would, send a letter to the commissioners and explain to them, that it has been approved by consent and it was unanimous, that's the name we want to present to them for their consideration. Pete, we're gonna make it, I believe. We keep on going here. Any other business?
The letter from Jimmy Capps, there's certain items, did you get a copy of that?
I do not. 50-10.
Yeah, issues out there on the end of Runway with the growth down there and along the creek. And also, we got the lights up here, and they're afraid to have a blade strike, prop strike, if the aircraft didn't know the lights were piled up there. So we got to make sure Robbie's where they're taking them out and they put them over on the
Like piled,
yeah, so I don't know if there's, what the clearance is over there.
but they're out of the safety area, I guarantee you that.
They should be, yes, but I know the weeds and everything's going on around because we can't mow them down now. But they said they're gonna use some of those lights again, so. We'll figure out how many they're gonna use, we can't move them.
I wonder who's been mowing the grass out here.
County did that, we did that over there, so.
Somebody told me it's a fellow by the name of Pete Haycock that did that.
My daughter did that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. She could keep her time too.
She keep-
Yeah.
Well, that's a good community project for her.
It is. I told her, she's supposed to come out here this morning at 8 o'clock. And then she didn't make it. Did they mow today? Did the county mow today? Okay.
I did notify Mr. His name is Mr. Man, that we voted on last meeting. T-Bow.
Oh, right.
No, the
Boat
boat
right,
ride?
yeah, T-Bow. I notified him to get busy down here and get this hay cut. He
Yeah,
said he
somebody
got
else
it.
called me too about that. I told him we had already confirmed somebody.
So
If he doesn't get here, I'll know that.
he said he'd guarantee we'd be happy
Yeah.
with the way he does things.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
I
it's,
said, well, the proof will be in the pudding, so we'll see.
yeah, I told him he can do mine. He said the fertilizer and everything. He said it takes 5 years to get it where he wants it, so he can make some money off of it. He said, I've got the fertilizer, make it
As long
worthwhile.
as he does a good job, as far as I'm concerned, he keep doing it.
He said, I have to bush hog it for about 2 years. He said, I can't get hay off until I bush hog it 2 years. I said, yeah, well, anyway. Get it looking good, maybe. But we got to, right now, just budget-wise, we're sitting at 0. But and we're got a head above water a little bit, but when we get like the final bills in for this month, for power, we'll be treading water.
We may have to borrow some money from Neil to kind of get us over the hump.
That's good use of the little county money we get, but it's,
Absolutely, I mean.
I hope nothing goes up next year, and I hope the power bill goes down on the runway, we might be able to survive. But we don't have
basically with every nickel we get.
We don't have any extra money. I've been putting some Roundup out there, trying to kill those weeds. I've never seen it before.
Where are you putting it, Pete?
Out here. I put it all out in front out there.
How about this?
If it kills some, then all of a sudden I put it out through here.
Well, the county takes care of it around the runway and taxiway.
Yeah, they do the lights.
How about around the fence, Neil? Have there been anybody out here that's sprayed the grass?
I've seen them do it in the past,
Yeah,
not
they do it.
recently. but I
Not
haven't.
recently, okay.
No, they're probably trying to get in probably in the next month, they'll probably do the Roundup around the fence. Because they got a tractor that goes right beside of it. But there's a lot to do out there. It's overwhelming, because we're gonna have a problem in the next few years. We're gonna get some help to cut all that bank over there and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But
We're gaining on it. We just keep on plugging away. I noticed that the DOT has painted the rails on the bridge out there. Looks real good. Have you noticed that?
No, I didn't.
Very shiny. You must have been on vacation or they done that.
So
Why you go?
that's the contractor drafting water off the bridge.
Yes.
I wonder who's doing it. Didn't think about the contractor using water.
That's what he's been doing.
I figured he had enough water down here. It's been raining.
Trying to lower.
So Neil, you got anything we need to?
No, my only
see about?
question really was to get a ballpark idea as far as the closure for the.
Yeah,
runway.
okay. All right.
Has Drake moved in yet?
Yep, all in.
So he's in, okay, good.
All right, that's good. Teresa, do you have any questions?
Nothing.
Oh, that's all right. You never do ask us anything.
The only thing I can say is, I don't know who will get us a new member, but he won't be good for near as many quotes as Mr. Harold Corbin always. You guys, you newspapermen know that. Harold, he has some good quotes.
Yeah, he is colorful sometime, he is.
What do you want? Good character.
Vocabulary.
Lawnmower operator, what do you mean?
And that too, yes, but,
So now,
That's not the only time we've had.
oh, Lord have mercy.
But we're gonna miss
Harold.
Harold.
Yeah.
Harold had his heart in Macon County. He really did want to do good for Macon County, and he was, I mean.
That was the time folks you need on your authority.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. The signs, yeah, the signs, so when you look at the flags, you
Yeah.
think of Harold for sure.
So I enjoyed I worked with him, I guess, so I've been chairman around 13 years. That's unbelievable. And incidentally, I haven't missed a day. I haven't missed a meeting.
No, you have not.
Put that in there.
Miles came in one day, the day after he had surgery, and I'm like, Miles, what's wrong? Your liver kind of slow or something. I had surgery yesterday. I'm like, and you're here. Yeah, you have never missed a meeting.
No? And I'm thankful, I mean,
Perfect
it
attendance.
could be the other way, so at my age, I consider every day as a bonus.
I'm infinite.
Okay. Thanks for coming up, Jimmy, and being with us.
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I hope things keep moving along. If you ever have any questions.
Yeah, we're gonna keep trucking.
Shoot me an email.
As long as we can get money to operate on, we're gonna keep on, we're gonna keep on keeping on. We might put in for a raise in our pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, DOA's starting to do things a little differently, so you'll be seeing some stuff coming back. It's not program guidance yet, but there's a template.
We can always adjust.
It's for everybody.
Yeah, we can roll with the punch.
there's no way we can stick that bump out the runway when you pave it down there.
No, we're pretty much just putting 2 inches on top of what's there. No grade correction, if you will, is being accomplished.
That's a long time.
If it just add an extra couple inches right where that pump is, just smooth it out a little bit. I get a lot of comments about
Yeah, I know, a lot of people.
All right, being no
Probably,
other
yeah, get that back.
business to discuss, the chair will adjourn this meeting. I guess the chair has authority, you have authority to
Hold me.
call the meeting, so I guess it's got the authority to adjourn. We'd have to have,
No.
yeah.
I'll play
I'd be
water.
conceded.